Okay, so we're going to leave 12 and 21 alone. And then again, like I just said, I had C to the third, so I wrote out 3 C's. I had D to the second, so I wrote out 2 D's. I left 14 over 8. I wrote out 2 A's, a B. 21 times A times B, A times C times C times D. Now this is the long version, and then we'll talk about which ways you can do it. So let's reduce our numbers. So I want you guys to remember that you can reduce up and down or diagonally, but you can't reduce side to side. So let's look at 12 and 21. Is there anything that goes into both of those? What goes into both of those? So we're going to divide both of those by 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. 21 divided by 3 is 7. Okay, now let's go to our letters. Can we reduce any letters up and down? Okay, so we're going to go over here. I always do this. Can I reduce 14 and 8? What goes into both of those? So 14 divided by 2 would be 7, and 8 divided by 2 would be 4. And now, can I reduce up and down? Nothing I can cross out. So now we're going to go diagonal. Okay, so can 4 and 4 cancel each other out? So I'm left with 4 goes in the 4 once, 4 goes in the 4 once. Now, I have how many C's in the numerator? 3, and I have how many in the denominator? So I'm going to cancel those 2 out. And then I have a D here, and I have a D here. Now that was diagonal. Now we're going to go diagonal this way. I have a 7 and a 7. Can I reduce those? 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 7 once. I have an A here, I have an A here, I have a B here, I have a B here. Now our job is to multiply everything together. Now you guys, when you go to write your final answer, you're not going to put any dots, any multiplication signs. You're just going to mush everything together. So what is left in the numerator? C, D, and we're going to put those in alphabetical order because we always put our variables in alphabetical order. So A, C, D. Do we have anything left in the in the denominator? Then this is our final answer. Now, you guys, you could also subtract 3 minus 2 is 1. And I have more C's in the numerator than the denominator, or you can write it out. It's really up to you. I tend to write it out still. Even my old age, I still write it out. I find that sometimes I make less mistakes when I do that. Okay. Okay, so I just want to talk a little bit about restrictions. There's 2 parts of this homework you have. You'll have one where it just says simplify, but I always want you to think in the back of your head restrictions, because the quiz that we take on Friday is going to be like this in factoring. See how it's all multiplication? Like there's no addition or subtraction? That means none of these letters, the restriction would be none of those variables can equal 0. Like if A equals 0, it'd be undefined. B equals 0, it'd be undefined. If X equals 0, undefined. If Y equals 0, undefined. So if there's no adding or subtracting and you just have all multiplication, your restrictions would be 0. Okay, so I want to write this out. So this becomes 6 times X times Y over 15 times A times B times B, 21 times A times A times A, and sometimes it helps when you put the number of X's you need. So you guys, I wrote X, 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 and I needed 4 X's. That's why this extra one's there. Anytime you start doing this, the first thing you do is you're going to start with the first fraction, and you're going to try to reduce up and down. So can I reduce 6 and 15? Okay, what goes into both of those? 3. So 6 divided by 3 would be 2. 15 divided by 3 would be 5. Are there any variables I could cancel out up and down? Nope. So now we're going to go over here with 21 and 18. Can I reduce 21 over 18? What goes into both of those? 3. So 21 divided by 3 would be 7, and 18 divided by 3 would be... Any variables I can cancel up and down? Okay. So now we're gonna go diagonal. So now we're gonna go this way. We're gonna start with the numbers. Can I reduce 2 over 6? By 2, correct? So 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is, okay. Now let's see variables. Does the bottom have an X? Okay. Does the bottom have a Y? Okay. Now let's go diagonal the other way. And let's look at the numbers. 5 and 7. Can I reduce 5 and 7? Nope. Okay, does the numerator have an A? Does it have any B's? Nope. Okay, so that means we're done. Once you've crossed out everything, you've reduced everything, now it's time for multiplying. So 1 times A times A times A would be, 1 times 7 is 7. A times A times A would be A to the third. Oh, yep, sure would be. Thank you. So anyone that's watching this at home, I just wouldn't surprise anyone that I made that mistake. I even crossed it out over here. What happened? So it would be squared. Okay, now bottom. 5 times 3 would be 15. And then I would have b squared and then x to the third. And that's my final answer.